I'm going to show you how to do the pine cone. I'm going to show you 2 ring sizes, okay? We're going to build this in the ring sizes that the original tutorial asks for, right? Which is a tutorial by Beadsisters. And then I will show you the ring sizes also that I used because I prefer the fact that this is really stiff, right? But to build this is much harder when you're using the tighter ring sizes. So for the ability to be able to show you a lot easier, I'm going to use the original ring sizes. So the original pattern wants an ID of 5.2 millimeters with a wire diameter of 1 millimeter. Closest I've got to that is these. Okay, so 5.15 millimeter ID, 19 SWG, which is your 1 millimeter wire. They're about 316-ish. Okay, so if you've got 316s, those will do in your 19 SWG. And then the large ring calls for 7.8 millimeter ID. Well, I got 7.9, so that should be all right. Which I've written down as 516 in your inches. This is 18 SWG wire, so that's 1.2 wire diameter, 1.2 millimeter. Mine says 1.17, but that's because I'm awkward. Right, so those are the sizes that the original tutorial asked for. That's what we will build it in. Now, to get the tighter version, to complicate matters, these are the ones I used, right? You want something with an AR of 6 for your large rings. Mine has 7.05 millimeters, which is an AR of 6.02. Both of mine, by the way, are in 18 SWG, both of my rings. 4.55 for the smaller rings. Again, 18 SWG, roughly 1164-ish. Right, that'll do. So that's what I use. We're going to go with the original designer sizes because it's easier to move around, easier for me to show you how to do it. So you won't get that. You'll get a slightly looser, larger version, but then you can just use my ring sizes to create that. You got me? Coolio. So to start off, what we're going to do is we're going to close up 8 large rings. 1. Talk amongst yourselves. 2, 3. I know this bit is boring, but I try to leave it in as much as possible because people might want to mail along with me, which is cute. I like the idea of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. 7. And 8. And then what we're going to do, we're going to need 4 small open rings. 1, 2, 3, and 5. Only joking, 4. Right, okay. So, take one, idiot. Take one of your small rings. Put 4 of the large rings on that. We're actually making a chain, 2-1 chain. But I would chuck 2 on one first, and then we can split it. So you got your 2, 1, 2 all ready to go. Take a small ring. Put on another 2 large rings. There you go. And then we want 1 more in there for our last 2 large rings. 1, 2. Close. And then with our final little small ring, what we want to do is we want to join this into a circle. So make sure they're all lying flat. You don't want it twisted. Yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to fold this side over like that and do them up. So we got that. There you go. As long as you got that, we're on a winner. So the next thing we want to do is we want to do some orbitals. We want 4 orbitals to start. So we want to open up 4 large rings. 1, 2, 3. If you haven't done orbitals before, don't panic and switch off. I'm going to show you how to do it. 4. So an orbital, what it's going to do is it's going to circle that small ring, right? So it's going to go, let me lift it up to the camera to show you. So if we're going to orbital this ring, we're going to go between those 2 large rings, there, and back through out the other side. We're going to go around that little ring, and we're going to do the same coming out of there. And then that little ring will sit in this ring. I'll show you. So go between the 2 large ones. It's naturally then going to go around there. Look, see, it's going around. And then you want to go between those 2 large ones there. There he is. Pop him out and do him up. There you go. And see how that large ring now he sits? He's orbiting. He's orbiting that ring there. So we want to do that 3 more times. So we need one on this one. Through the 2 large ones. And through the other 2 large ones. Whoops. Try that again, Catherine. Slow down, you move too fast. Through there. Through those 2 large rings. Making sure we're going around that little one there. Gasping for a cup of tea. I'm so Welsh. Right, see? So now we've got 2 orbital rings in place. I'm going to do one more. And I'm going to go and put the kettle on. Let's do it on this one. Through, through. And again. Through those 2 large ones. Making sure we're going around him. Yeah. Oh, I'll put the last one in and then I'll go put a kettle on. Tea. There, there. There you go. So you got that. Neat. Lovely, lovely. So there's your 4 orbitals going around your 4 small rings. Let me just go and make myself a cup of tea. Right, so the next thing we want to do with another 4 little rings, we want to put a little ring and he's going to grab, so this, see this large ring and this large ring, the one that's sandwiched, the orbital, right? We're going to grab those 2 in there. So we want a small ring to go in through that eye there and come out through that eye there. So it's grabbing those 2 orbital rings. Right, so I'll show you now how to do that. So pick him up. And you want to go in through there and back out through there. Yeah? Like that. Now see how he's moved a bit? And this is why I prefer my ring sizes, right? Because in this ring size, he will move about. Now, when it comes to the next move, when we go on to the next layer, you actually want him to stay. Let me fiddle him around a minute before I say anything else. This is why I got frustrated and went for a smaller ring size eventually. Because he does move, look. And hang on. fannying around, there. We need them to stay this side. See? So when you put that in, he actually wants to be below the other two. But when you pick it up and move it about, he tends to flip and do all sorts, right? So he will move. We put the 4 in, and then when we go to put the next level on, we make sure they're all sitting inside, okay? Now, if you use my ring sizes, that doesn't happen because all this is so much more compressed. Once you put him in, he can't move out there. But for showing you how to do it, this is easier. It probably seems like I'm making this way more complicated than it needs to be. But once you've made a couple of these, you realise that's what happens. Okay, so I'm just going to put the same ring now. He needs to go there, there, and there. You can see the spaces where he needs to go. So I'm going to put those 3 in. And you'll see that they probably won't stay where they're meant to stay. But as long as you know that you're looking to move them back again, then it's not a problem, right? So there's the next space. Look for the 2 small ones, and you can see where there's 1 missing. And we want to pick up those 2 there, right? So going in through there, we're coming back out through there. There. There he is. Now he's actually stayed there now, so that's good. He's the same as that one there. Let's put another one in. As I said, don't panic. If he does move outside of that area, you can just wiggle it around until he sits back in the right place. So where's the next one? There's the next one. In through there. And out through there. Okay. And we want 1 more. Lying flat again. Okay, where do we want 1 more? So there's 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. So we want 1 in that gap there. So through there and out through there. There you go. And laying flat. Laying flat. Okay, so he's in, he's in, he's in, and he's in. See, they've got to go on the inside of those 4. You've got that 4 small, and then they need to sit on the inside. I'm drumming that into you, right? So the next move we want to do now is open 4 more large rings. 1, 2. And these are going to go through the ones we've just added to replicate what's going on in the previous layer. Right, so what you can see now, you've got those ones on the inside, and those ones are sitting outside of them, if you see what I mean. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we're going to do a layer of large rings. So these large rings are the highest. See the single one there, the sandwiched one? That's obviously the layer we want to do next because we've done him, then him, so it sort of staggers. Right? So the next layer obviously is going to be the same as that one. So we're going to put a large ring through that small one and through that small one, making sure he's sitting outside there. Yeah? So pick him up. Go through that small one, through that small one, like that. And as you can see now, he's sitting directly above the one that we did there. So you've got 2, eventually there'll be 2, 2, 2 all the way around. So the next one we want to do is through that small one and through that small one to give us a large ring around this one. So we want to go through that one. No, sorry. Through that one. And through that one. Which is going to orbital, that one. There. See? Like that. So the next place, we're going to want one. So I'm just looking at that. I'm wondering why you're sitting like that. Did I do a mistake? No, I didn't. Okay, so the next one now, where we've got one large one there, we're going to want to sit another large ring on top. And he's going to go through those two small ones there. Boop. Boop. And you can see actually as they start to fall, see, you're already getting that pattern. There you go. So we want one more, and we can see where he needs to go, because we've got one there, we've got one there, we've got one there, and then in this space, there's only one large one. So we want to put another large ring through there. See, through there, and then he's copying that one there. And that's basically all you're doing, right? Is you're doing a layer of large rings, then you're doing a layer of small rings, and then the next layer of large rings goes in the position the last ones didn't. So on the next ones, look, we're going to go here to create a set of 3 large rings there. Okay, but first we need to put the small rings in. So now it's basically the same again. Small ones in, then large ones in, small ones in, then large ones in. With the small ones, you're always going in and grabbing the 2 large rings there and staying in front of that one there. So you want to go in with a small ring into that eye, grab those 2 large rings and come out the other side there, which puts in our small ring there. And then on the next row, we go in and we put the large ones in. Okay, so for this row we're currently working on, we're going to lift them up and we're going to put a ring in through there, grabbing those 2 large rings. And then what that's going to do is that's going to put our small ring in there, yeah, which is the one that we then put the large rings through. So you want another one again, so look for that gap there. We know we want to put a small ring in through there, grab those 2 and come back out the other side. So let's put another one in there. Yep. Like that. Yeah, so we got one there and we got one there. And how I know which one I'm grabbing the right one, you can't really go through there because that's in the way. If you go for the one where the little ring is sitting there, you can see the other 2 are underneath it, and then you've got those 2 large rings there. We know that that's where we want to go. So in through there and grab the other large ring and out through there, like that. How many have we done? 1, 2, 3. So there's one gap over there, look. So, oops, missed him. There. And lay him down flat. So picking him up, and always make sure he flops over that way, because that way is going to be too stiff to work. Make sure he's flopping over that way. You can see the ones that we've just placed, the loose ones in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we know that because they're the ones that are further forward than those. See how that one is sitting in there and that one's further out? So now we know we want to put a large ring through the ones that are sticking up there. Right? And that large ring will then replicate that large ring that is underneath these two. See? Because we're doing every other layer is above. So you're always doing a sandwich. So we know that this ring, this next large ring, is going to want to go in there, out there, and copy the large ring that's underneath these two large rings. So in, like that. So you can see the next one is going to want to go in there, like that. It is actually really easy once you get your head around it. I'm probably making it sound way more complicated. I want you to make sure those rings are in the right alignment. So, through there and through there. See, so those are on the inside. That one's on the outside, so we know that's where we want our last large ring to go. Through there and through there. It's really starting to pine up now. Woohoo! So now we know we've got a routine. Now we're doing this 4 small ones. So 4 small ones. 1, 2, oops, 3, is it tea time again yet? 4, right, where are we putting our 4 small ones? Well, let's see. Let's have a look at what we got. So we can see the smaller one that's on the outside in 4 positions, and then the smaller one that's on the inside in 4 positions. So we know our small one wants to go in front of the outside small one there, in front of these two here. So he's going in there. Okay, so do that 4 times. So always look for that shape. Go in there and grab those 2 large ones and come out there. One. See, so he's in there. So we're going to want to do it that same again in there. Boop, boop. There he is. 2. See our next one is there. Through. So we want 1 more. Look for that. Yep, there he is. So in through there. Grabbing those 2 large rings through there. And then let's repeat the small rings again. It's really starting to tighten up now. 4 more small rings. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, what am I talking about? Talking rubbish. It's the large ones next. Hey, just checking you're awake. Open up our 4 large ones. 2, 3, 4. So we've done our small ones, so we can see where the large ones are going to go, because they're going to go through the small ones that are innermost there. So we're going to go in through there and out through that one. It's already Pinecone now. One. And there's the second one there. So there's those two small ones there, through them. And lastly but not leastly, there. Right. So, see, it's quite loose, this one. But there's your Pinecone, essentially, look. When we put that last set of 4 in to tighten it up, 4 small ones. So let's go the same routine, find the area where those are on the inside. That one, so we want to go in there, look. One. One. So that's the next one. 2. So there's going to be the next one. So you can keep going and it'll get stiffer and stiffer. Obviously you'll get more and more layers. Have I missed that? Hang on, I think I missed one. Yes, I did. So you'll get more and more layers and it'll get stiffer and stiffer. This is the point at which the original tutorial says we're done with regards to large rings. Ooh, I've lost that one. There you go. So he's in. So to add the bail now onto it as it is, what we need to do is we're going to take a small ring and we're going to grab 2 opposing large rings, like one there and one there. Pull them together and put a small ring through them. Okay. So through that one. Oops. And through that one. Like that. Yep. And then we're going to do on the same on the other 2 opposing large rings. So that one there and that one there. Going through also the small ring that we've just added. So squeeze it together, grab that large ring, that small ring, and that large ring there. Like that. And then that's where you can string them up. And you've got your, oh, there. Oh, have I filmed it all the way up there? I've done it again, I'm useless. Right, that then is your finished Pinecone. And as I told you, that for me personally is a little bit loose, right? So the only difference I made now is it was really tight putting those last rings in, I'm not going to lie to you, right? But I prefer that myself. What I did then is I just pulled the 2 large rings through together, sorry, not through, pushed them together, put 2 more large rings in, and that gave me my bail. I didn't need to do those ones as well. So in that step where we squeezed it together, we put a small ring in and then a small ring the other way. No need for that. That was sufficient. So that's how I did mine. You can see how the difference between the original one. Don't get me wrong, it's beautiful and it's lovely. And if you want a bit of movement in your piece, it's glorious, right? But I just wanted something that was a bit more solid because I was actually trying to make an egg. So there we are. That's how we do it. Enjoy.